some of the greatest tennis ever. Anyway, today I want to continue my talking about customer value and how you figure this all out and how you can guarantee ROI in your artificial intelligence machine learning project. This ought to be worth something, right? Okay, so let's go over here. Here was an interesting article just describing sort of the concepts, and I like the diagram. In artificial intelligence is sort of it's a term that actually got coined in the 50s and goes back all the way, goes all the way through. Machine learning got started in the 80s, and deep learning in the 2010s. Oh, before I do, we got to get over here to find the number one creative critique from the client. Make the logo bigger. And there's actually an app, a Chrome app, where you can push a button with a unhappy smiley of the client, and it changes the website logos, expands all the logos big. My greatest critique was almost always make the phone number bigger or make the URL bigger, because if you can't find how to order, I did that at Oakley. It was pretty funny. I said, you're not going to get any. They wanted to do direct marketing for a minute on their Kevlar tennis shoe, which was also for about a minute. Anyway, so they handed me the mailing piece, and I said, well, you're not going to get any orders on this. They said, why? I said, because there's no response device. How does somebody order these things? Well, the phone number's right here, and they had a block of copy about this big, and the phone number was like in the middle, in 8-point type. I said, no, you're making this too hard. Anyway, so thinking about your logo is like trying to get the best selfie and see how many people care. It's just not that important to the customer. It's not the customer's first thing, how great your logo looks. It's very, very, I was going to say nihilistic, narcissistic. I know too many big words. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so I think this diagram is actually probably the best thing about the article. It does basically say it's the rage, and it's we're trying to build an algorithm that sort of guides us through the process of what we're doing. But algorithms need to be trained. You need a labeled data set, and oftentimes that's most of the work. Using an algorithm to predict an outcome of an event is not machine learning. Using the outcome of your prediction to improve future predictions is. In other words, it's a process, not an event. And that is key. The other key at the bottom is scientists spend the majority of their time cleansing data. So, the title today was Why 85% of Artificial Intelligence Projects Fail. Why? I'm just going to skip down to where he gives the answer. Some of the reasons that these projects fail could be because that sentence, oops, you can't see the sentence. That sentence itself illustrates the biggest issue in AI. Nobody wants to come down hard on what the answer is. Not at all. Okay? None of these are right. I can tell you. These are not the reasons. Okay? He gets closer. He or she, I don't know the author. This is Customer Think. They change the author every time I simplify the article. So go figure. I don't know. No other website does it, but for some reason their websites are built to change the author of an article if you simplify the reading. And I have glasses, so I do. The question is not the type of project. Rather, it is the return on investment from a project that lures them most. These are the sharks. And if you actually give them and they usually control the money and usually own the company. either as investors or board of directors or something. That's the key. The key is if you're going to come down and say one could if one wished, perhaps, you'll never get an ROI out of that. Same thing with no phone number, no response device. Okay, so here's another clue. This one is from John, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I wrote him and said we're going to be talking about him. Let me get over there and see if he's on with us. I don't see who's on exactly, but some people are on. So, John, if you're on, say hello and let us know what you're up to. I don't even see myself in this, so I'm not sure I can see John. I just see that somebody's out there. Okay, so he mentioned that he was in a creativity workshop, and they were talking about lateral thinking. And so you put lots of ideas up, and another one is, A Kick in the Head is a great book on lateral thinking. And it's about how, great ideas are not sequential, but two, or often conjunctions of two diverse ideas. And so John here illustrates the connection between machine learning or AI and creativity. He says, there's a company in India, one of the most innovative clothing companies, where the software takes a few points of reference and then goes through various iterations of cuts and patterns in a lateral process. In other words, it comes up with sort of like examples. Let's not call it ideas because it's not really thinking, but examples to test. And then they put these up somewhere, and customers either buy them or rate them in a way that there's feedback. That's the labeled data set. That's how you get to ROI. That's a step in the process of getting to ROI. The creativity myth is that life-changing ideas are the product of a few tortured souls sitting in the corner of a dark room. Most of the time, creativity comes through observation. And to have observation, you need lots of information. You need lots of variety, suggestions. That's where AI can really help the most. But the flaw is, as we learned in the first article, the flaw is trying to take the machine learning and just make a one-time guess. Guess what I'm going to buy next. Guess what website I'm going to go to next. I don't even know what website I'm going to go to next. That is a failed strategy. Okay? But to suggest some alternatives to someone who is creative and find the one that resonates best, that makes some sense. Okay? And so this is the way we've approached the integration of machine learning for 20 years. We've been using algorithms in an automated way, an automatic interaction detector if you're a statistician. And so the question is, why not use a technological tool that generates thought starters? That's how we've gotten breakthrough concepts. And this is my book, Spinning Straw into Gold. It's a very, very small book. It's an executive guide to this process, to how you go step by step. And the back is 5 or 6 case studies of explosive growth, of tenfold growth, of doubling a $25 million company in 6 months, because we were thinking, and the machine gave us options. We'll continue in this theme tomorrow, and you'll learn about the 5 steps in dealing with that data. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Share shows you care.